Kids don't trick-or-treat at homes where sex offenders live. Great idea, right? Well, now 3 convicted sex offenders are suing. They're arguing their rights are being violated. Here's our affiliate, WSB.
Take a look at these signs. We first showed them to you last year around Halloween.
Everybody needs to know. It's just a matter of protecting your family.
They warn kids in Butts County heading out to trick-or-treat to stay away from certain homes where there's a sex offender living.
I even showed my kids, I was like, see, maybe I don't go to the house. You know, so to me, it's keeping your kids safe.
But sex offenders in a class action lawsuit against the Butts County Sheriff disagree. They argue Georgia's sex offender registry statute does not require signs like that to be placed at the homes of offenders. In a statement, the attorney representing the sex offenders told us in part, the sheriff's actions in entering these citizens' property without permission and placing signs thereon violates multiple legal and constitutional rights, particularly the right to free speech, which may not be compelled by a government actor. I did reach out to Sheriff Long, but he said he doesn't want to comment until after Thursday's federal court hearing. However, on Facebook, he did post that regardless of what the judge rules, he will continue to do whatever it is within the law to protect the children of his county. A federal judge ruled Thursday whether the signs will stay or go. A mother we spoke with says she wants to see them stay.
I understand that all sexual offenders are not the same, but as an overall consensus, I believe that we need them.
Joining me now, HLN legal analyst Joey Jackson and retired LAPD Sergeant Cheryl Dorsey. Joey, I start with you. I mean, as a mom, I'm not too concerned about the rights of sex offenders, but I got to say, do they have rights and what are they?
Good to see you, Lynn, and my friend Cheryl Dorsey. Look, here's the problem. On the one hand, I think we all deplore conduct like this, right, that are engaged in by sex offenders. Are you kidding me? And so in terms of public sentiment, I don't put a sign up, put a statute up, put anything up, put a voice box up, blast loud music saying, don't come here, right? That's really the feelings we have because of what sex offenders do and can do, and we want to protect children, okay? So that's the public sentiment hat. Now, Lynn, quickly for my legal hat, right? That suggests something different. And legally speaking, they do have a compelling argument for a number of reasons. Number one, if the statute itself does not otherwise require or compel it, and otherwise doesn't suggest that it can be done, now you have a statutory problem. That is, the law does not otherwise allow or provide for this to happen. More importantly, though, is the constitutional argument in terms of compelling speech. Freedom of speech is not only, Lynn, the ability to say what you want, it's the ability not to say what you don't want. And therefore, if you're compelled or forced to have a sign which you don't agree with or, otherwise doesn't represent some feeling you have, then what the law says, and multiple Supreme Court cases have held this, you can't even compel someone to have a license plate with a state motto on it if you don't want it to, right? And I can go on and on. And so ultimately, from a legal perspective, not a public sentiment perspective, they have a very good argument.
How frustrating is that, Cheryl, from a law enforcement standpoint? I mean, they're just trying to protect kids.
Well, listen, I'm a mom too, and so I say let's err on the side of caution. And so if you can't put it on the neighbors, on the person's property specifically, I'd be knocking next door and asking the neighbor, can we put a pointy sign on your yard? Don't go there, right? Because listen, these guys have a compulsion and a proclivity for stuff that could hurt young people, and so why wouldn't we? And why do they want the young people not to know to stay away from them? More importantly, what's up with that?
Exactly. That was my frustration about this whole thing. And Joey, I mean, Cheryl makes a great point. Could they put it next door if they have approval, or could they put it in front of the house, not on private property, but on city property?
Yes, so there are alternatives. Maybe they should consult with the great Cheryl Dorsey in order to determine how this should be done. Listen, the fact is that the people themselves have a right not to be compelled. So you can't compel me to speak or not to speak. But if my neighbor wants to have a sign that has an arrow, right, saying stay away from there, that's a different issue. Or if on perhaps, public property, you want to alert someone, but with regard to having it on their property, therein lies the rub. And so alternatives that are reasonable, have at it. But this one is problematic.
Well, Cheryl, you just handed it to them, saving a lot of taxpayer dollars in lawsuits that didn't need to happen. Cheryl and Joey, always so great to have you. Thanks for being with me.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you.